Tombstone exploded onto screens with gunfights, legends, and some of the most unforgettable characters in Western history. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and the streets of Tombstone became iconic overnight. But more than 30 years later, time has changed the faces behind those legends in shocking ways. Some stars still shine, others disappeared from the spotlight, and a few are gone forever. Now, we revisit the cast then and now in 2026. And some transformations are truly hard to believe. Henry Hooker. He steps onto the porch with a rifle in hand while chaos closes in around his ranch. Carries the weary resolve of a man who understands that survival in the West often comes down to standing your ground one final time in Tombstone. Even surrounded by violence and fear, there is a quiet steadiness in him, the kind built from years of hardship rather than bravado. At the center of that weathered presence stood Charlton Heston. Born John Charles Carter on October 4, 1923, in Wilmette, Illinois, he was 69 when the film was released, bringing a lifetime of cinematic authority into the role. Already immortalized through Ben-Hur, where he won the Academy Award for Best Actor, Heston spent decades embodying larger-than-life figures shaped by conviction and endurance. Away from the screen, he shared a lifelong marriage with Lydia Clark and later faced one of the hardest chapters of his life after publicly revealing symptoms consistent with Alzheimer's disease. He passed away on April 5, 2008, at 84, leaving behind a presence that never felt borrowed from Hollywood mythology, only carved from something older, lonelier, and painfully real. Wyatt Earp. The moment he steps into the river with shotgun in hand and fury burning through every word, feels less like a lawman and more like a man finally surrendering to vengeance in Tombstone. Beneath the cold control and hard stare, there is exhaustion there too, as if every loss has slowly stripped away the part of him still hoping for peace. The face carrying all that wounded authority was Kurt Russell. Born Kurt Vogel Russell on March 17, 1951, in Springfield, Massachusetts, he was 42 when the film begins, delivering one of the defining performances of his career after decades of reinventing himself beyond his early Disney fame. Already iconic from Escape from New York and The Thing, he built a screen presence rooted not in glamour, but weathered charisma and emotional restraint. Away from Hollywood spectacle, his long relationship with Goldie Hawn became one of the industry's enduring partnerships, while the collapse of his professional baseball dreams years earlier quietly reshaped the course of his life. In 2026, at 75, Kurt Russell remains a presence that never chased myth like a movie star, only carried it like a man who understood its cost. Marshal Fred White. He steps into the dusty street with calm resolve while violence hangs heavy in the air, carries the weary courage of a man who knows peace never lasts long in Tombstone. There is no swagger in him, only the quiet burden of responsibility settling deeper with every passing moment. Behind that weathered humanity stood Harry Carey Jr. Born Henry George Carey Jr. on May 16, 1921, in Saugus, California, he was 72 when into the role, bringing decades of lived-in authenticity to the role. A defining face of classic Western cinema, he became unforgettable through his collaborations with John Ford in films like The Searchers. His life carried deep personal hardship as well, including struggles with alcoholism that nearly destroyed his career before he rebuilt himself with quiet resilience. Sadly, he passed away on December 27, 2012, at 91, leaving behind a presence that never tried to outshine the West, only to make it feel painfully real. Virgil Earp. The moment he stands in the fading light with badge pinned to his chest and quiet worry buried behind his eyes, feels like a man holding the line long after he already knows what violence will cost in Tombstone. Even in silence, there is something deeply protective about him, as if duty has become heavier than fear itself. The man carrying all that steady gravity was Sam Elliott. Born Samuel Pack Elliott on August 9, 1944, in Sacramento, California, he was 49 when into the film, delivering one of the defining Western performances of his long career. Already unforgettable from The Big Lebowski and countless frontier dramas, he built a screen legacy out of weathered voices, restraint, and quiet emotional strength rather than Hollywood flash. Away from the cameras, his enduring marriage to actress Catherine Ross became one of the rare lasting partnerships in the industry, while years of rejection early in his career nearly pushed him away from acting entirely. Today, at 81, Sam Elliott remains a presence that never needed to raise his voice to feel larger than the horizon itself. Morgan Earp. the moment he laughs beside his brothers with a warmth that almost makes the danger disappear, carries the fragile illusion that life on the frontier might still leave room for happiness in Tombstone. That quiet optimism makes the tragedy surrounding him cut even deeper, as if innocence itself is slowly being hunted out of the West. Behind that deeply human presence stood Bill Paxton. Born William Paxton on May 17, 1955, in Fort Worth, Texas, he was 38 when the film was released, bringing emotional warmth and vulnerability to the role. Already unforgettable from Aliens and later Titanic, he built a career filled with characters who felt alive long after the credits ended. He devoted much of his life to family and filmmaking, though his sudden death following complications from heart surgery shocked the industry and fans alike. Sorrowfully, he passed away on February 25, 2017, at 61 due to from heart surgery, leaving behind a presence that never felt manufactured for the screen, only heartbreakingly real. Doc Holliday, he twirls his pistol cup in the smoky saloon with a dying man's grin stretched across his face. Feels like someone laughing straight into the shadow of death in Tombstone. Beneath the elegance, the sarcasm, and the dangerous charm, there is exhaustion there too, as if every joke is buying him a few more seconds before the darkness finally catches up. At the center of that haunting performance was Val Kilmer. Born Val Edward Kilmer on December 31, 1959, in Los Angeles, California, he was 33 when the film begins, delivering what many still consider the defining performance of his career. Already unforgettable from Top Gun and later Batman Forever, he built a reputation for disappearing completely into complicated, unpredictable men. His life took a devastating turn after a battle with throat cancer permanently altered his voice, transforming one of cinema's most magnetic performers into a symbol of resilience and reinvention. Regrettably, he passed away on April 1, 2025, at 65, leaving behind a presence that never played death as tragedy, only as something quietly waiting across the table. Curly Bill Brocious, he laughs wildly beneath the burning desert sun after pulling the trigger, feels less like a man than pure chaos finally set loose across the frontier in Tombstone. There is something unsettling in the joy behind his violence, as if morality itself has simply burned away beneath the heat and dust. Behind that dangerous unpredictability stood Powers Boothe. Born Powers Allen Boothe on June 1, 1948, in Snyder, Texas, he was 45 when on the show, bringing terrifying charisma and strange humanity to the role. Already respected from Deadwood and Red Dawn, he built a career portraying men who carried authority like a loaded weapon. He remained deeply devoted to family and his Texas roots, while years of demanding character work slowly turned him into one of the industry's most quietly respected performers. He passed away on May 14, 2017, at 68 by heart attack, leaving behind a presence that made danger feel strangely alive, almost smiling back at you from the darkness. Ike Clanton, he stumbles backward through the dirt with panic flooding his voice, reveals a man desperate to survive in a world built for killers in Tombstone. Beneath the bluster and bitterness, there is fear there almost every second, as if he knows the legend surrounding him is already collapsing before it's fully begun. The face carrying all that frantic desperation was Stephen Lang. Born Stephen Lang on July 11, 1952, in New York City, he was 41 when into the role, delivering one of the most memorable supporting performances in the film. Long before becoming globally recognized as Colonel Quaritch in Avatar, he built a respected career rooted in intense stage work and emotionally physical characters. His life remained grounded in family and theater, while decades of perseverance slowly transformed him from character actor into a commanding screen presence. Currently, at 73, Stephen Lang remains a presence that understands something many actors never do, that fear can sometimes feel louder than power itself. Johnny Ringo, he spins the silver cup with icy precision while his dead eyes search the room for someone worthy of dying. Feels like violence already waiting to happen in Tombstone. Beneath the calm confidence and razor-sharp menace, there is loneliness there too, as if every gunfight has slowly hollowed out whatever humanity once remained. Behind that chilling presence stood Michael Biehn. Born Michael Connell Biehn on July 31, 1956, in Anniston, Alabama, he was 37 when joined the film, delivering one of the defining performances of his career. Already unforgettable from the Terminator and Aliens, he became known for portraying men carrying exhaustion, danger, and quiet emotional scars beneath hardened exteriors. His life included difficult years battling alcoholism before rebuilding himself through independent filmmaking and family life. As of now, at 69, Michael Biehn remains a presence that never treated darkness like spectacle, only like something slowly consuming the soul from within. Kate, the moment she watches Doc Holliday through cigarette smoke and dim saloon light, carries the exhausted sadness of someone loving a man already slipping toward death in Tombstone. Beneath her sharp words and wounded pride, there is quiet heartbreak there too, as if every argument is really a desperate attempt to hold on to time running out too fast. The face carrying all that fragile sorrow was Joanna Pacula. Born Joanna Pacula on January 2, 1957, in Tomaszow Lubelski, Poland. She was 36 when the film was released, bringing elegance and emotional vulnerability to the role. After escaping communist Poland and rebuilding her life in America, she rose to international attention through Gorky Park, earning a Golden Globe nomination that transformed her career overnight. Her journey reflected reinvention, displacement, and resilience more than celebrity itself. Nowadays, at 68, she remains a presence that understood something Tombstone never said aloud, that sometimes love survives longest in the shadow of inevitable loss. Sherman McMasters, the moment he rides beside Wyatt Earp with dust swirling around him and a rifle resting low at his side, feels like a man trying to outrun the kind of violence that already knows his name in Tombstone. Beneath the hardened stare and outlaw swagger, there is something conflicted there too, as if loyalty has become the last fragile thing holding him together. The man carrying all that rough-edged intensity was Michael Rooker. Born Michael Rooker on April 6, 1955, in Jasper, Alabama, he was 38 when the film was released, delivering one of the strongest supporting performances in the film's blood-soaked mythology. Long before a new generation embraced him through Guardians of the Galaxy, he carved out a fearless career with unforgettable roles in Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, and gritty American dramas built on danger and unpredictability. Raised in difficult circumstances after his parents divorced, Rooker transformed years of instability into one of Hollywood's most distinctive screen presences. At present, at 71, he remains a presence that never polished the darkness out of his characters, only made them feel brutally alive. Josephine Marcus, she steps onto the stage with confidence blazing through the smoke and noise of Tombstone. Feels like someone refusing to let the chaos of the frontier steal her sense of self in Tombstone. Beneath the wit and elegance, there is longing there too, as if she understands that loving a man like Wyatt Earp means standing forever beside danger. The face carrying all that spirited vulnerability was Dana Delany. Born Dana Wells Delany on March 13, 1956, in New York City, she was 37 when the film begins, bringing warmth and emotional intelligence to the role. Already acclaimed from China Beach, where she earned 2 Emmy Awards, she built a career balancing strength, sophistication, and emotional depth rather than Hollywood spectacle. Away from the spotlight, Delany remained fiercely independent, openly reflecting on aging, identity, and the pressures placed on women in the industry. This day, at 70, Dana Delany remains a presence that never chased attention loudly, only lingered in the memory long after the scene had faded. Billy Clanton, the moment he stands tense beneath the blazing Arizona sun with fear flickering behind his swagger, feels like a young man already trapped inside a violence bigger than he understands in Tombstone. Beneath the arrogance and restless energy, there is insecurity there too, as if survival itself has become a performance he can barely hold together. Behind that uneasy presence stood Thomas Haden Church. Born Thomas Richard McMillan on June 17, 1960, in Woodland, California, he was 33 when the film was released, bringing raw unpredictability to the role early in his film career. Years later, he reached another level of acclaim through Sideways, earning an Academy Award nomination that transformed him from character actor into one of Hollywood's most respected dramatic performers. Away from fame, his life reflected long periods of privacy and reinvention rather than constant celebrity visibility. These days, at 65, he remains a presence that understands how fragile pride can look when fear is standing right beside it. Mattie Earp, the moment she sits alone in the dim light with heartbreak quietly settling behind her eyes, feels like someone already watching the man she loves disappear into violence she cannot follow in Tombstone. Beneath her fragile calm, there is loneliness there too, as if the frontier has slowly turned every dream of love into something painfully unreachable. The face carrying all that quiet sorrow was Dana Wheeler-Nicholson. Born Dana Wheeler-Nicholson on October 9, 1960, in New York City, she was 33 when into the role, bringing emotional vulnerability and realism to the role. Already remembered from Fletch and later Friday Night Lights, she built a career grounded in emotionally human performances rather than Hollywood glamour. Her journey included stepping back from acting for years to focus on family before eventually returning to the screen with renewed perspective. As of 2026, at 65, Dana Wheeler-Nicholson remains a presence that understood how quietly heartbreak can echo through even the loudest legends. Billy Breckenridge, the moment he nervously watches the Earp brothers from the edge of the chaos with uncertainty flickering across his face, feels like a young man caught between admiration and fear in Tombstone. Beneath the badge and awkward confidence, there is innocence there too, as if he understands far too late that the West has no mercy for men still trying to figure out who they are. The face carrying all that youthful vulnerability was Jason Priestley. Born Jason Bradford Priestley on August 28, 1969, in North Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, he was 24 when on the show, balancing Tombstone with the enormous fame surrounding Beverly Hills 90210, the role that transformed him into one of television's defining stars of the 1990s. His life took a frightening turn after a near-fatal racing accident in 2002 forced him through a long physical recovery and a deeper reevaluation of fame, ambition, and mortality. Now, at 56, Jason Priestley remains a presence that understands how quickly youth can vanish once the illusion of invincibility finally breaks apart. Mr. Fabian, the moment he steps onto the stage beneath flickering theater lights with dramatic elegance pouring from every gesture, feels like a man desperately trying to keep beauty alive while violence closes in around Tombstone in Tombstone. Beneath the charm and theatrical confidence, there is vulnerability there too, as if performance itself has become a fragile shield against the harshness waiting outside the curtain. The face carrying all that flamboyant humanity was Billy Zane. Born William George Zane Jr. on February 24, 1966, in Chicago, Illinois, he was 27 when into the film, bringing wit and unexpected warmth to the role. A few years later, worldwide fame arrived through Titanic, where his performance as Cal Hockley transformed him into one of the decade's most recognizable screen antagonists. His career evolved through independent films, producing, and a quieter artistic life beyond blockbuster fame. Currently, at 60, Billy Zane remains a presence that understood something Tombstone quietly mourned, that art is often the last fragile thing standing before chaos takes over. Johnny Tyler, the moment he freezes at the poker table while Doc Holliday's icy voice cuts through the saloon, feels like a man realizing too late that bluffing only works until real danger walks into the room in Tombstone. Beneath the arrogance and swagger, there is panic there almost instantly, as if survival itself suddenly depends on swallowing his pride. The face carrying all that nervous bravado was Billy Bob Thornton. Born William Robert Thornton on August 4, 1955, in Hot Springs, Arkansas, he was 38 when into the role, delivering a brief but unforgettable performance before his career exploded with Sling Blade, which earned him an Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay. His life carried years of financial struggle, personal instability, and emotional hardship before success finally arrived. Music, writing, and filmmaking later became as important to him as acting itself. At present, at 71, Billy Bob Thornton remains a presence that understands how fragile confidence can look once fear finally strips the performance away. Thank you for revisiting the legendary world of Tombstone with us. Time may change faces, but these unforgettable performances still live on. If you enjoyed this journey then and now, please like, subscribe, and share your favorite moments from the film below.